Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a Laurel County man pleads guilty for his involvement in the robbery of a bank in our region. And a local hospital makes a decision that will hopefully increase the amount of permanent nurses among its staff.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
5:32 on your Wednesday. I'm Dakota Makris, and we made it to the middle of the work week. And let's take it over to Brandon, who I'm actually not talking to right now currently, because you made a mean remark at me. You said you needed a break from me this week.
Anyway.
You did?
Anyway.
I'm just kidding with you.
I know you are. and never mind. Anyway, let's get into the forecast this morning. It's a bit foggy out there as we head through the next little bit. But again, Mount Vernon seeing just a touch of fog. Some areas seeing a lot of fog, so be careful in your travels this morning. A little bit of traffic out there in Rockcastle County along I-75. Not a whole lot, though, as we start your Wednesday. Temperatures a bit on the cooler side this morning. Irvin, Hazard, Clintwood, and Ashland all in the 40s right now. Still watching Jonesville and Williamsburg at 50, and Logan too. So we're going to have to wait and see. Everybody else above the 50-degree mark at this point. Looks like Somerset and Monticello, some of our warmer spots out there this morning, in Harlan too, in those mid to upper 50s. Again, from this time yesterday, double digits colder in most areas from 24 hours ago. Planning for today. Once the fog goes away and the sun comes up, we're going to soar. Upper 70s, close to 80. It's going to be a beautiful day. Dakota?
All right, Brandon, thank you. A search for a missing southeastern Kentucky man came to a tragic end. Laurel County deputies say they found the body of 31-year-old Sean Martin early Tuesday morning. In a post on the department's Facebook page, police say they believe he fell from a cliff. Martin was last seen Monday afternoon around 3 o'clock on Cloud Subdivision Road, just west of London. A car crash left one person dead in London. The Laurel County Sheriff's Office says two vehicles crashed on Tomcat Trail when the car traveling eastbound crossed the center line. 44-year-old Shanna Laster of London died shortly after she was taken to St. Joseph Hospital. 31-year-old Kara Smith of London was the other driver involved in the crash. She was also taken to a hospital. A Laurel County man pleaded guilty to a robbery charge in federal court. Sean Fox was arrested for robbing the Community Trust Bank in Corbin in the fall of 2022. He will serve nearly 7 years in prison. The court is recommending he participates in mental health and drug abuse programs. Tuesday was National Fentanyl Awareness Day, so drug resistance and education groups spent some extra time talking about the dangers of the drug. Operation Unite focuses on drug education, enforcement, and prevention across our region. Nancy Hale says they often see the damage caused by drugs the first hand and say it's killing a lot of people between the ages of 18 and 45. She says young people are consuming fentanyl, often not even knowing the drugs they bought were laced with it.
For young people, I would tell them that any prescription drug that they're seeing online, for them to assume that it has fentanyl in it.
Operation Unite says fentanyl is being found in some vaping products young people are finding ways to get their hands on. Well, we are now one step closer to having protection from RSV in the form of a vaccine. The Food and Drug Administration gave the green light to the vaccine for ages 60 and older. There are still a few more steps that need to happen before the shots go in arms. Lisa Feinstein tells us what we can expect next.
Oh, this is a big advance.
Health experts are calling it a revolutionary breakthrough. This is the furthest we've gotten to having a vaccine against RSV after trying and failing decades ago.
Since that time until now, we've all wanted a vaccine for RSV. It causes so many hospitalizations, so much severe illness. It's so disruptive.
Dr. Michael Kilkenny at Cabell Huntington Health Department is keeping tabs on when this new vaccine could be available. The one closest to being fully approved is for ages 60 and older.
The older age group that most of us don't think about, but RSV is going to cause more hospitalizations and more deaths in that older population than it does in those young children.
The FDA has given its approval. Now the CDC is taking its turn to make their decision.
They're going to look at the safety data. They're going to look at how it was administered, the effectiveness, all of the data there. And so they could still put a hold on it.
Companies are ramping up their production of the vaccine while they wait for the CDC's decision.
That's going to be in the next few months. We don't expect this to be actually available until the fall.
This could potentially make a drastic difference in RSV cases this season compared to the record number of cases last season. Lisa Feinstein at WSAZ News Channel 3, Huntington.
Well, the CDC is currently in the middle of its clinical trials. If this one gets approved, the next in line will be an RSV vaccine for pregnant women. Well, for those who work in the hospital setting, navigating the healthcare staffing shortage following the height of the pandemic can be difficult. This shortage caused many hospitals to rely on travel nurses to make ends meet. For Hazard ARH, it is now choosing to reduce the number of travel nurses working there in hopes of creating a more stabilized staff of nurses.
We still have new ones that come all the time. I said we've just tried to decrease the amount of travel nurses we have. We're opening an observation unit over the next couple of weeks, so expanding the amount of beds that we have. So while we had a compression issue at some point where we did get smaller, we're already starting to get bigger. We're already starting to expand back.
Hazard ARH CEO Brian Springate says with a hospital of this size, it is only natural people from outside of the area come to work here. But he says the hospital is also focusing on recruiting more local nurses in order to curb the nursing shortage long term. A new development in Prestonsburg is celebrating a family people say has been instrumental in helping the people of Eastern Kentucky. Rosenberg Square is newly painted and ready to serve as a space for love and community. With the mural painted by Pink Marl Design Company, John and Jean Rosenberg will be honored for years to come, sharing images of open minds, conversations, and love. The corner celebrates the change brought to the region by the Rosenbergs through healthcare, law, education, and beyond. Well, days after the big race, a Central Kentucky horse farm with connections to the Kentucky Derby champ Mage is feeling very proud. Well, its stallion Good Magic, Seared Mage, Garrett Weimer and photojournalist Darnell Crenshaw were able to catch up with the proud father.
Oh, celebrating like you own the horse.
Jared Burdine's reaction to Mage, winner of the Kentucky Derby. Burdine is the general manager of Hillendale Farm at Alapa. The Bourbon County farm is where he oversees the stallion Good Magic, the sire of Mage.
We're elated. It's see the plan come to fruition.
Lance Mitchell is the stallion's manager. He broke the good news to Good Magic.
We were watching it on TV in here that day, and we told him. I don't know how much he picked up on it, but he's a happy, proud horse as it is.
Proud, happy, and busy. We were able to get some time with Good Magic on Tuesday afternoon, right in the middle of breeding season. He has sired more than 700 foals in his breeding career.
The fact that he has a Derby winner out of his first group of babies, it's very exciting.
There must be something in the water and the bluegrass.
There's hundreds of acres of timber and woods on the property here, so you almost feel like you're in a big national park when you're here. And I think that makes it nice for the horses as well.
Because there are other Derby connections on this farm. Sires here produced 6 runners in the Derby. Violence sired Derby favorite Forte and Raise Cane. Good Magic fathered Mage and Reincarnate. Curlin, who sired Good Magic, also sired Lord Miles and Skinner. Truly a family affair.
A deep connection to all the runners of all of our stallions.
The horses are all like family to us, they really are.
Horse handlers here aren't surprised these genetics are at the top of the crop.
The good ones like Mage, it's really special to see a horse that you were part of being in the breeding process with.
No long face for this second place finisher in the 2018 Kentucky Derby. Just good times and a busy breeding schedule.
Well, still on the way this morning, a well-known pop-punk band decides to take their final bow after making music for nearly 3 decades.
Sum 41, I remember them well. Drier and warmer for the next couple of days, but could rain chances return by the end of the week? The latest in about 3 minutes.